Richard Moore is the managing creative director of Richard Moore Associates, the first firm specializing in brand identity to receive a 100% foreign-owned license to practice in Vietnam. Richard Moore has over 40 years of experience in helping companies market their products and services using all forms of communication media. He holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, graduating with distinction from the Art Center College of Design in California. In 1994, Moore began serving clients in Vietnam.
Richard Moore, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
If you were to stop a random person on the street, anywhere in the world outside of Vietnam, and ask them to name a Vietnamese brand, I'm sure you would get a blank stare.
Sure.
Why do you think that Vietnam does not yet have any global brands?
Well, first, let's think about how young the economy is here. The free market officially opened in 1986 with the policy of doi moi, or renovation.
Right.
But it wasn't until I began coming here in 1993 that it was really beginning, the free market was really beginning to start. And what I experienced were no supermarkets, no real big venues where people could really have a major choice. Here in Ho Chi Minh City, there were not many traffic lights.
Sure.
I could count them on one hand in Hanoi. Mm-hmm. Advertising agencies were not here yet. The first thing that Vietnamese companies learned was not about branding. It was about marketing communication in general.
So they were just starting that much from scratch.
Right. I look back at the few television commercials that I was responsible back then, and I look at the production values today, and oh gosh, but you know, everything was fine then because people were just so open to anything that you would do, and any kind of product that would be offered that mm-hmm. was unusual or was halfway fitting what they might want to use. So it was a really different time. And the leaders back in that time really did not have any experience in marketing and
the business leaders at this
business
time.
Leaders, yes.
Was that pretty much state? It was still mostly state-run.
There were state-run companies, but they were beginning to be what you would expect in a free market, entrepreneurs who were starting things, and none of them had any real experience. Anyone who is today in business, who has a company who is over 50 years old, would have grown up not having the kind of education in marketing that was available or is available to you and I in the United States, our country, or in any major free market country. You and I grew up as kids learning marketing and branding through the process of osmosis.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I mean, it's in the air. You go to a supermarket, it's there. You watch television, it's there.
Are you seeing, I mean, we're seeing certainly a development within the domestic marketplace anyway, though. I mean, there seems to be much greater awareness of branding and marketing campaigns. It seems to me that still people are not looking outside their borders too strongly. I mean, do you see any international brands in the near future?
There are a few exceptions right now. There's Trung Nguyen, which is a coffee shop, large chain of coffee shops, right, which has ventured outside in mainly the Southeast Asia countries. Pho 24, this is a traditional Vietnamese kind of noodle dish, delicious, mm-hmm. And they're outside as well. Both of these, the leaders of those two brands, both of them are under 50. They're in their 40s.
Yes.
I don't think we're going to see this next this voyage out of Vietnam from brands until those that are probably in their 30s right now replace the other generation.
Do you think it's on people's minds more as younger people? You mentioned Pho 24 and Trung Nguyen, and they are exceptions, I think, to the general rule. And I think that in general, companies, they still aren't looking outside the borders. But how about younger business people that you've encountered? Is it on people's minds?
I don't think it's deeply on their minds, but I think it will be. I'm in the brand image business. I lived in Japan from 1959 to 1965 when I was a kid. At that time, when I arrived there, Japan had a reputation of just making low-cost products, imitative products,
Right.
low-quality products. And by the time I left in 1965, Japan was producing Walkman, the Walkman recorders. They were producing really good quality cameras like Canon and Nikon. They were beginning to produce small automobiles that were of really high quality. So when I came back to the United States, it took maybe another 10 years before people realized, hey, Japan wasn't building cheap products like that anymore. So perception lagged reality by about 10 years. That won't happen again because of the speed of communication, the internet. News travels a lot faster nowadays, and if Vietnam produces a strong brand, the world is going to know about it quickly.
When do you think that will be? When do you think there will be, a new breed of international products?
Breed is the right term because it is when there's another generation. This is the next generation, and they're ready to go.
Okay.
They just want to get in the right place, and I think we're going to see real things happen.
And you think that the importance of branding is that message out there now in the marketplace here, just even looking domestically? Or
I think beginning about 5 years ago, brands began to realize that they need to know not only about how to communicate through marketing communications, advertising, television, and so forth, which they've been doing very well. Now there's really good quality marketing communications, but it's not cohesive. And they began to realize these few years ago that they need to speak in a common voice. They need to use these communications more cohesively. So they understand the importance of that, but they don't yet, most of them, understand the way to accomplish that. They have good examples because, especially after WTO about 5 years ago, there's a lot more foreign competition here, foreign competition that has had good, strong brands developed many years ago. So they have good examples, and they're learning, but they still don't quite get what they really need to know about branding in order to make it successful.
Do you think there's anything from a policy perspective that can be done to kind of enhance the process of Vietnam creating bigger and better brands from a government perspective?
Well, I think what's going to enable brands, especially brands that are exported out of Vietnam to occur, is innovation. Innovation in products and services. And to refer back to Japan, the innovation was we make really great things really small. And there is no such theme right now for Vietnamese innovation. As these young leaders begin to get into place, I think there will be. The role of government in this, well, government is not in the innovation business. I think any government needs to do is just provide a good environment so that entrepreneurs can have these ideas and not have anything impeding them to follow them out.
In terms of what kinds of sectors in Vietnam, maybe do you see any that have potential to become international brands that are uniquely identified with Vietnam?
Again, what is different? In order to have a brand, you have to have something that is different, either functionally or emotionally. What's different about Vietnamese brands right now are those products and services which are traditional. The tradition of Vietnam is different from the tradition of other countries. So we have a brand like Pho 24, which is a traditional Vietnamese dish that can go outside Vietnam. But beyond that, I don't see anything happening yet because there is not a kind of innovative theme or an innovative product ready yet to take outside. And that's where they'll be successful. If it's a parity product or a parity service, very difficult to create an international reputation with that.
Great. I think that's all our time. Richard Moore, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me here.